Mr. Salmon Salami, good morning, sir.
Very good morning to you, the Grandmaster of the game.
All right, Mr. Salami is the COO of Citizen 93.7 FM, and they will join us on the second half of the show. Straight up, we start with the Nation newspapers. Planned protests, DHQ, DSS put men operatives on red alert. That from the Nation newspapers. And still on the Nation newspapers, protest, monarchs, states rise against violent action. 170 reps urge youths to shelve planned strike. Still on the front page of the Nation newspaper, Tinubu reaffirms commitment to democracy, rule of law. Under Tinubu, 10 says Tinubu. And to the economy now, Nigeria's economy growing faster on southern governors, others mourn the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo yesterday. All right, to the Punch newspaper now, and still leading with the protest story. Tinubu rallies NSA monarchs as hunger protest looms. And Tinubu governors, others mourn as Ohaneze leader Iwanyanwu dies. Police station rape. NGOs condemn delay in probe of suspected cop. That's still from the Punch newspaper. I would have dropped governorship ambition if Obaseki was reasonable. Who is saying this? The deputy governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, talking about the local politics in Edo State. Manufacturers will adjust to tariff hike with improved power supply. Still on the front page of the Punch newspaper, Nigeria imported $2.25 billion fuel from Malta. Wow. Crude supply. National Assembly probes $10 billion oil theft. Summons NNPC Dangote. And still on the Punch newspaper, Tinubu may sign 70,000 naira minimum wage bill next week. And before we go, let's touch on this story from Oyo State. Oyo Mercy faction opposes fresh selection process for Alafin. That's all the stories you can find on the front page of the Punch newspapers. All right, the Guardian is our next port of call, and it leads with this petroleum story. Nigeria's petroleum imports from Malta surges by 342% to $2.08 billion. And still with the Guardian newspaper, Japa, Nigeria ranks among 10 globally, says Tinubu. World Hepatitis Day. Hope teams for 2030 elimination target for deadly virus. And on the foreign scene, Biden hosts a newspaper. Expectations as Games 23 Olympus sets Paris above. Group confers change Pan-African collaboration. Buddhist own plans. Tinubu, Igbo Nation, others mourn demise of Iwanyanwu at 82. Protests convene stakeholders meeting. Lagos Assembly urges Sanwo-Olu. Ekpe family kicks over land grabbing abduction of King's woman. These are the stories that you can find on the front page of the Guardian newspapers. This is according to President Bola Tinubu. Nigeria's economy on recovery path. This is still the president saying. Why we removed 2.4 million names prior to 2023 general elections? INEC Chair Amodi Akubu. Protests Oni, Zazao, Emir, others plead for peace in meeting with Tinubu. Nationwide protests or your government convenes stakeholders meeting. All the stories you can find on the front page of the Tribune newspapers. From the Tribune to the Leadership newspaper is still the protest story that is leading. Protest states beef up security as Tinubu meets governors. Private sector urges CBN to seek more balanced approach to monetary policy. Those are stories that you can find. Okay, maybe we take one or two Nigerians to pay 7,000 naira a month as okay. Let's leave that for now. Okay, we move on to the This Day newspaper, and This Day newspaper leads with the demise of the Ohanese president. Ohanese president in 1 year passes at 82. Tinubu declares that irreparable loss. And FIRS clarifies taxation adjustment to foreign currency transaction. Lagos State tops the park in climate governance performance ranking. And still, Development Commission bill assent. Edo 2024. Igudalo storms over southwest as speed. Tinubu security forces news. So many other stories that you can find on the front page of This Day newspapers. That we will pick. Please don't go away. Still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja.
On the news during the week? Not to worry. Retrospect is here to make up for the missed information. Retrospect is a complete package of all the major news headlines that made the airwaves from Sunday to Saturday. Join me, Esther Nwusu, on the program Retrospect on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Sunday at 6 p.m. Retrospect. We keep you informed.
Oya o my people, make una come gather here. Which kind tori una wan hear on top radio? Wetin dey catch fire on top social media? Bring am on top Make We Talk Am for Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Monday go reach Thursday, and the time na 5:10 wey be 10 minutes after 5. Make we talk am as e dey be.
Glow, here is what to do. Women's Corner is waiting just for you.
Education, work, lifestyle, career, mentorship, and family too.
We will tackle the issues, provide solutions, and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high, and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly.
Join us every Mondays and Wednesdays
at Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja.
Woman don't suffer, lower everybody.
The issues. Everybody respected that because it was coming from the president.
Theory behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands.
Some civil servants retire without a roof.
We are Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps. NSCDC. We are Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, to put to work efficiency, humility, integrity, inside concept of security.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's to Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 Abuja. Welcome to the second part of the show, where we take a look at some of the headlines in detail. All right, Mr. Salami, let's kick off with the Punch newspaper, and this story dominates virtually all the papers. Tinubu rallies NSA monarchs as hunger protest looms. And President Bola Tinubu on Thursday held emergency meetings with all progressive Congress state governors, prominent traditional rulers, and Umas, and as part of efforts by the government to ensure green calls for the anti-hunger protests following widespread economic hardship in the country. The protests, which are being organized under the hashtag End Bad Governance, have gained significant traction on social media, even as organizers remain unknown, with no group officially claiming responsibilities. The president first met with the APC governors at the presidential villa. The meeting lasted for an hour and 15 minutes. This meeting followed an earlier one by the Nigerian Governors Forum, and the National Security, Minister of Finance and Budget, Economic Planning, and others were at the meeting. The meeting with prominent traditional rulers began about 2:30 p.m. when the president arrived at the council chamber in the villa and ended by 4 p.m. Mr. Salami, there seems to be a lot of consultations and meetings going on.
It is good a thing that the government is, the federal government is consulting widely with all the critical stakeholders. It is good that the federal government has convened a stakeholders meeting protests. Well, this is the beauty of democracy, where whoever thinks that there is an issue that doesn't go down well with him has the right to protest peacefully. Mark my word, peaceful protest. It is the inalienable right of every Nigerian. It is enshrined in the Constitution. Nigerians have the right of association. They have the right to express themselves. And of course, we, the minders of other people's business and the purveyors of news, we have the constitutional duty to hold government accountable to the people. This is beautiful. These are the principles of democracy. And these are the things that make democracy attractive to the people. But then, to peaceful protest or protest whatsoever, there is a caveat. Can we, the hoodlums, will not hijack the protest? How are we sure that it will not turn violent? And come to think of it, the title or the name given to the protest, End Bad Governance, End Bad Governance, this bad government. I do not want to sound like a broken record or to repeat what President's Special Advisor on Information, the well-respected Bayonuku, this is not my word, this is the word of Bayo Onanuga, and he has not denied it. But the thing is this: there is the need for caution, there is the need for circumspection, and why many people NSAS protest, of the NSAS protest. It is good a thing that Mr. President is consulting widely, and we thank God that he's getting the buy-ins of the critical stakeholders that count, or it is just paying the price for freedom, which is eternal vigilance. Don't let us toy with this, our democracy. Quite many people paid with their lives. There is no doubt that there is economic hardship and hunger in the land. But then, let us ask ourselves, will this hunger protest reduce hunger? Will it solve the problem? I still plead, and I join the federal government in pleading that we should allow good judgment to prevail. Let us listen to the voice of reason. Let us listen.
Hey, thank you so much for that. Still staying with as Ohanese leader Iwanya who dies. The President Bola Tinubu, former President Mohamed Buhari, governors and others on Thursday mourned the death of President General of the Ohanese Ndigbo worldwide chief and the late businessman owned Champion Newspapers. His business also into over 20 companies. Iwanya assumed office as the President General of Ohanese Ndigbo worldwide on April the 30th, 2023. Shortly after his predecessor, Mrs.
Not to the Igbo, but to Nigeria as a nation. Chief Emmanuel Iyon, he was a business mogul. The late President General of Ohanese Ndigbo will be remembered for a very long time to come for his patriotism, for his oneness of purpose. He was a man who believed is what I call irreparable loss, just as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu described his loss. May so rest in perfect peace.
And I say amen to that. Mr. Salami, let's move on to probes $10 billion oil theft. Summon NNPC Dangote. Between January and July 2024, Nigeria lost an average of 437,000 barrels of crude oil daily, worth about $10 billion due to theft, vandalism, and other criminal activities, the House of Representatives declared on Thursday. As a result, the House Special Committee on Oil Theft and Losses commenced investigation into illegal lifting of crude oil in Nigeria. As the Senate summoned the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Dangote Petroleum Refinery, posed those responsible for economic sabotage and the importation of toxic fuel into the country. Mr. Salami, another probe.
Do you know that the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the forefront of safeguarding our economic interest? 10 billion naira in January and July. We have lost over 430,000 barrels
per day.
Per day. This is huge. Lawrence, this oil did not vamoose.
It disappeared.
This oil was stolen, not by ghosts. They call it to lift. There are processes. Quite some people are involved in the lifting. Is that not right?
Correct.
How will it now become illegal lifting if some people have not looked the other side or have compromised? they should be fished out, just as the House of Rep member said. They should be exposed, not only exposed, because we must get it right. Exposing them will not serve any purpose. They got bad behavior. This is what you get.
Skeptical about this, bro, because I covered the National Assembly for more than 15 years, and in my time, I can record not less than 20 major probes in this industry, and I cannot recall any radical, earth-shaking findings that change the surface or the operations of that industry. Every time you have probes like this, they come out with findings. Nigerians who enjoy the drama, sometimes even the people who are engaged in the probe would themselves be probed and be found guilty. And so many other drama will overtake drama, and then we move on and move, then nobody will see you. This is a high-profile theft by organized syndicate. We've had cases where a whole ship would disappear. That's where the word came up, vamoose. In one of the probe, they said it at the end of the day, Mr. Salami.
Well, I hope to.
And, well, okay, still staying with that story, The Guardian has another slant to the story. Nigeria's petrol import from Malta surges by 342%. That's to $2.8 billion. Mr. Salami, get that right. $2.8 billion, not naira. And this is the story. Amid the ongoing face-off between the chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, and regulators of the country's oil and gas sector, Nigeria's petroleum product imports from Malta has surged 43 billion naira. This is coming days after Dangote alleged that officials of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited own this small country to the tune of $2.8 billion just by our imports alone.
There is a criminal gang, a very big one going on, and I think this should not be swept under the carpet. Like you rightly pointed out that you are aware of more than 20 probes on this oil theft and the so-called illegal lifting. You see, I would want Dangote to come full circle by disclosing the names of those he said owned the blending plant in Malta. In actual fact, they are just doing this to feather their nest. Why Malta as destination? Because that is where their interest lies. And like Atom Zeribu said that you put your money where your mouth is. You see, we will plead with the National Assembly, especially the House of Representatives, to leave no stone unturned in unraveling the rot in the oil and gas industry. More than that, we will want them to tell Nigerians what happened to the humongous amount of money voted for the turnaround maintenance. We have been turning around, and we have been on the same spot.
Without any maintenance.
Without even not turning. Yet, we were spending money on turnaround maintenance. We are the people. We the people plead with our representatives that please let the worms come out. That is why we are hungry. The other that pilfers or that waste its resources will not go hungry. This is not acceptable. All the culprits should be brought to book, and let Nigerians know those who cause our hunger.
And Mr. Salami, this brings to fore when we were talking about the international conspiracy about the Dangote refinery. Because if just one country is responsible for taking over $2 billion from us as a nation, and that's not the only country we import products from. So you can imagine how many countries, including Malta, will be threatened if at the end of the day we fix our local refineries, we fix Dangote refineries, and then we stop those imports.
I am in support of any legal means to ensure that we get our money back. I'm in support of severe punishment and consequence to be meted out to all those involved in this racketeering and theft of our national resource. I wonder what, we are paying a huge amount of money to a company to safeguard the pipelines. Lawrence, this is more than a laughing matter. A humongous amount of money is being paid to a company to ensure that our money justified, the payment. Is it justified? There is the need for Nigerians to speak out, and there is the need for those who are of the oil, the government or the National Assembly, through their oversight function. In actual fact, this is more than oversight. It should be raised at plenary session because this is a national issue. It touches the core, the raw nerves of all Nigerians. It is sad that we are losing humongous amount of money to criminals. Oil theft.
All right.
The oil did just not disappear. It was stolen.
Yeah. Okay. You can join the discussion. The lines are open now. 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205 or 0818 22222. Read your message. It's still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. I have no cabal in my government. Tinubu, that's according to the president. President Bola Tinubu has allayed fears of manipulation by tetanus to any individual or institution. According to a statement issued by Ajuri Ngilale, special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Villa in Abuja. The president said his victory at the pigeons in getting support from Nigerians. Mr. Salami.
Well, good thing that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has come out clearly to say that yes, he owes nobody anything, that he sponsored his campaign, that he doesn't have any godfather, in the best interest of Nigerians. All he's telling us is that no encumbrances, and that good a thing. It is pretty good to know that he's not indebted to anyone, and he doesn't owe anybody any obligation. So we know where to point accusing fingers at if there is the need to. He has said it, that we should not pity him. He has for the job. He has gotten the job and is at work. Let's just pray for him. Let's wish him well. And let us ask for divine guidance from Almighty God. At least there is a president now who can beat his chest and say that the buck stops on my table.
All right, Mr. Salami, let's move on to still staying with the Tribune newspaper. Why we removed 2.4 million names prior to 2023 general elections, INEC Chair Yakubu. The Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, on Thursday disclosed that 2.4 million names of registered voters involved in double registration during an interactive session with the Joint Senate and House Committee on Electoral Matters. He also observed that most states do not have laws and resources required to acquire beavers and ballot boxes to conduct local government. During some off-cycle elections conducted so far, the general elections, was because it was the first time the technology was used for the election of such magnitude in the country. Mr. Salami, there have been this give INEC that added responsibility of conducting local government elections.
You see, it is neither here nor there. There are so many issues to be the responsibility of conducting duties. You see, local governments, part of the federating state, are they federating unit? And if the states and the federal are the federating units.
Okay, just a minute, Mr. Salami. We have a call here. Let's see. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
About the strike.
Hello, sir. You didn't tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This
03-22-29-797. You can also call us on 0818-2222-205 or 0818-2222-206. Mrs. Salami, you were saying something before that call came in concerning the local government election.
Well, you see, it becomes an issue because in almost all the states, wherever PDP is in power, you discover that all the council elections, are we now saying that other parties have no foothold or stronghold? Parties do not need to be national in outlook. There are some parties that, and that is the beauty of democracy, the plurality of votes. That is the way to deepen our democracy. A situation whereby somebody roaming the street unmolested or unarrested, not arrested, it's not good. That is what gave room to this idea of do we now allow the INEC to take over the conduct of local government election? It's still neither here nor there. Because if that is to be, there is the need to tinker or amend the constitution. That is one. Then two, are we sure that the INEC, as it is today, is not it's not overburdened? Are we sure? And again, do we need to throw away the baby and the bath water? We should always allow things to be done for INEC to take over. Let's first amend the constitution. That is if it is desirable. And tell them to do the right thing.
How?
That is a matter for another day. That's a matter for another day. That is if.
You preach to them, appeal to them.
No, it's more than that. And I think we can still interrogate that.
Anyway, Mr. Salami, for me, I think we're just postponing the evil day, as we say. If we are indeed serious about being a federation, there are some hard decisions we need to take. Even if it's not in the short term, it's not favorable. We can't continue to say, because the local government elections, when they are held, states that are in power will take over everything, and so will now sublet it to a federal body to conduct our local government election. So when will we ever get there? We say, okay, let's have state police. They say, take our foot forward. We need to ensure that the states start by the state assemblies. What exactly are the state assemblies doing? Because that is the body that is supposed to be like an oversight to these state electoral commissions to see that elections conducted happening in the state. Do you know your local government chairman? Do you know your councillor? Do you know the man who's representing you at the state assembly? Have you spoken to him before? Have you had any interaction with him before? INEC to conduct election. Let's bring INEC to do this and this and that. And then 5 years, 10 years from now, we come back again. Let's have State Electoral Commission. 5 years after that, we say, oh, no, it's not fair. Let's go back again. And things like this, we're really not making any form of progress, Mr. Salami.
I think you are right on point. There is a need for us to rethink our variant of federalism. If we want to practice federalism, let's practice true federalism.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Salami. Let's move on to another story. Deputy Senate President hails Tinubu over Northwest Development Commission bill assent. The Deputy President of the Senate, Jibrin Barau, has commended President Bola Tinubu for according presidential assent to the Northwest Development Commission bill. With the presidential assent, the federal government's intervention agency will address the infrastructural facilities in the region. And Mr. Salami, in addition to this, so the Southeast Development Bill was also has also been given birth to formally. So Northwest and also the Southeast. This is some people. No, I'm just quoting what people say.
I think we had Northeast Development Commission. The Southeasterners too are clamoring for Southeast Development Commission. Already we have NDDC. I'm sure the Southwest will ask for their own.
Obviously.
And the question now is this: if we must create a commission for development, what are the governors doing? What are the chairmen of local governments? What are they doing with the money? If we must, or for them to make some infrastructure, social infrastructure available to those regions, what are the governors doing? Lawrence, this thing doesn't sit down very pretty well with me.
And Mr. Salami, before you continue, this also adds to the fact that we are talking about pruning down governments, have a lot budgetary.
That the question now is this: there were some development commissions before this one. What was the performance? Have they impacted extraordinarily well on the fortunes of those regions? And the newsroom that throwing money at problems will not solve problem. It will not. Well, if it's the right thing to do.
Mrs. Sanita, you know, it's me because the way it is and is, and think otherwise, then you now people will now say, okay, be accused of being biased and everything. The truth of the matter is that we pick and choose. We've had several discussions concerning the Oronsonye report in the newsroom and how it is. And when you look at things like this, you begin to wonder, which direction are we really heading?
That's if you are heading at all.
All right, Mrs. Salami, before from Edo State, especially concerning the election, we have just 2 minutes to go. I would have dropped governorship ambition if Obaseki was reasonable. Reinstated Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, said, had his principal Godwin Obaseki been reasonable and spoken to him well, he would have dropped his governorship ambition and allow the governor have his way in order to preserve their relationship. Shaibu described Obaseki as a dictator, said he became more resolved to pursue, as if, apart from the politics, we have a lot of ego here between these two gentlemen.
Well, it is good relationship turned sour. Because when the party was on, we all knew how they even abused some political leaders and said that now.
Later. That's the way of politics.
Just about 2 weeks ago.
That's the way of politics.
It is. We are enjoying the drama. All we just plead is that let us ensure that.
That should be of utmost concern to us.
And issue driven.
I don't know about that too, because we are now getting into the realm of what should be and what is and what ought to be. These are two different things. until that day that issues will become dominant in Nigerian politics. That's the day we will now know that we are ready. Shaibu is describing his governor as
a dictator.
A dictator. Which governor is not a dictator?
In them at a distance. But if you ask me again, politicians will remain who they are. They will always politic. And in politics, almost everything or anything goes.
Exactly. All right, Mr. Salami, I think we'll have to leave it at that. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your interventions. Mr. Salmon Salami, COO, Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja.
It's a pleasure being here.
All right, that's our package on the show today. And let's meet again on Monday, bright and early. My name is Lawrence Somoiti. Enjoy the rest of your day.